Hey everybody, just wanted to do a sort of spur of the moment update on my office tank here. I've been in the process of medicating it. As my regular viewers will know, I've been using a kind of food that I have to put in there. It's a medicated food, and I have to do that every few days. I have to turn the lights out when I feed it because the medicine is apparently light sensitive, and then I need to do a water change the following day. And today is the following day, so I'm about to get in there and do a little water change. And I wanted to do the video before the water change rather than afterwards, because afterwards, the tank's usually all swirled up and has stuff all swirling around in it and whatnot. And right now it's looking clean and beautiful, so I figured we would do a quick update. Not a lot to talk about. Again, just wanted to have a quick update. The thing that always comes to mind when I look at this tank is that poor female guppy right there. I think after this video is over, I'm going to net her out of there and put her down in one of my sorority tanks where I have all females, because you can see she simply never gets a moment's break. She usually has anywhere between 2 and 5 males swarming around her. Here's another one. Same sort of situation. They just never get a moment's peace. So I don't need any more baby guppies in the tank. I can go ahead and try to scoop those females out. I usually try to keep them separated for that reason. I don't need an endless supply of guppies. I'm also going to get in here and probably start collecting up a few snails. I don't care about having snails in the tank. They don't really do any damage. But after a while, you get too many and it just starts looking unsightly. And I've got plenty of fish that eat snails downstairs. Butterbean is the one predominantly that eats most of the snails, my figure 8 puffer. So I've got plenty of use for the snails. Again, no big deal. The big deal in this tank is my temple plant that I chopped the top of it off. You can see it still looks almost sort of weepy right where I've cut it. So it hasn't even fully healed over yet. I'm still not seeing any new growth. Oh, wait, I'm making a liar out of myself. Look at that right there. That is new growth. So we now officially have new growth generating on my temple plant. Let me got a bucket by my feet and getting ready to do this water change. I probably should have moved that before I started too. So now that I'm looking, I can actually see a little spot right there. That's new growth too. So the temple plant is more than likely going to recover. I'm kind of curious to see if I'm not going to get any real, and I can actually already see I am. It's going to be really hard to tell on video, but I'm actually already starting to get some, right where my fingernail is, you can see that little bit of nub sticking out. That's actually some new growth coming out of one of the nodes. So what's probably going to happen, what I expected and what I wanted to happen, is we're going to get some new growth underwater that's going to branch out, and we're going to get more of a branching type, a dense compact plant coming up out of the water. Although I do like it with the nice open light shining in from the top. The way I had it before with that temple plant, 3 feet tall sticking out of the top of it, it really blocked a lot of the light, and it really reduced how pretty this tank is. With that shimmering, sparkling light in there, it just looks absolutely beautiful. So I'm not overly keen on having that temple plant come back and be as massive as it was. The top section that I cut off, I just threw it in the bucket downstairs, and it's still continuing to flower and has beautiful purple flowers all over it. So I'm pretty sure that's going to start developing roots again and start growing. And I'm not talking about the piece I put in my waterfall tank. I'm talking about this whole top section that I cut off. The piece in my waterfall tank was just the top section way up here, and that's actually rooted in and is growing and doing well. This huge section, the main branch, that's just sitting in a bucket downstairs, and as I said, it's still continuing to flower. So it'll be interesting to see if I go down there at some point in the near future and we don't have roots, on the other end while it's flowering on the top side. We'll get roots developing on the bottom side. So that should be pretty interesting. As far as my Bolivian ram, that is the fish in question right there that's being medicated. And I'm still not really able to tell whether there's a difference or not. It doesn't look any worse, but it really doesn't look any better either. I'm not seeing any signs of illness, but I'm not seeing any signs of weight gain either. It's not filling out. It's not plumping up. It seems to eat normally, but it also seems to not like the medicated food. Whenever I put it in there, it kind of goes and checks it out and turns its nose up at it. So I try to feed very little between my medicated feedings, the idea being to keep the fish in the tank hungry. And then that way when I put the medicated food in, they sort of go after it anyway. And hopefully so far it's working. I have seen him definitely eating some of the medicated food. Now, whether or not the medication is going to be effective or not is going to be the question. I hope it is. I've been recommended this medication by several different people. I've tried some other stuff that's fairly common for internal parasites, or, if you've got a fish that's just not putting on weight, that's a sign that it could have an internal parasite. There could be other things going on, but an internal parasite is not out of the question if you've got a fish that simply will not put on weight, even if it's eating normally. And that is the case with this Bolivian ram. It eats every day, yet it just stays wafer thin, and it just never puts on weight. So hopefully this new medicated food will do the trick. It's about a month long, maybe a 6-week process, so we'll have to wait and see. So on that note, I will say make sure you're subscribed, and that way you won't miss any of the updates I have on this tank or anything else. You never know what you're going to get with me. So thanks again for watching. Don't forget this one here is my 20-gallon office tank. I'll see you real soon in the next one.